After 15 years of marriage, it took just 6 minutes to destroy everything. That's how long it took my wife to confess her affair. But this isn't a story about cheating. It's about what happens after, when regret meets rejection, when sorry isn't enough, and when healing takes an unexpected path. It was a Tuesday evening. Nothing special about it. Emma was making dinner, chicken pasta, our usual. Her hands were shaking as she stirred the sauce. "We need to talk," she said. Those 4 words, they always come before everything changes. "I made a mistake," she started. "A terrible mistake." The pasta was burning. Neither of us moved to turn off the stove. It was at work, with James. It lasted 3 months. It ended last week. James. Her colleague, the one who came to our Christmas party, the one who shook my hand and called me buddy. Think finding out about the affair is the hardest part? Wait until you hear what happened when the truth about those 3 months came out. I didn't yell, didn't throw things, just stood there, watching smoke rise from the burnt pasta. "How long have you been planning to tell me?" 2 weeks, she whispered, since it ended. The irony wasn't lost on me. She'd needed 2 weeks to confess a 3-month affair. The details came in waves: hotel meetings during lunch breaks, late work projects, weekend seminars, deleted messages, each truth another nail in our marriage's coffin. "I want to fix this," she said. "We can fix this." But then she said something that changed everything. I ended it because I realized I love you more. Love. Like it was a competition. Like our 15 years could be measured against 3 months of lies. That night, sleeping in the guest room, I found myself doing math. 15 years of marriage, 5,475 days together, 90 days of betrayal, 14 days of lies while planning to confess. But here's where it gets complicated, because what I discovered next made those numbers meaningless. Morning came. I checked our shared iPad. The one Emma always forgot was linked to her phone. The truth was worse than the confession. It wasn't 3 months. It was 8. It didn't just end. James ended it. She wasn't the only one. He had others. She knew about the others. Stayed anyway. When I confronted her, Emma broke. "I didn't want to hurt you more than necessary. More lies to cover lies." Classic. "You didn't want to hurt me, or you didn't want to look worse." Her silence was answer enough. But here's what broke me. Found in her deleted emails. She'd planned a future with him. House hunting websites, school districts, research, divorce lawyer consultations, even a Pinterest board, new life with Jay, all while sleeping next to me every night. That's when the real pain hit. Not the affair itself, but every morning, kiss was a lie. Every I love you was hollow, every shared moment tainted, every future plan a facade. Think discovering the truth hurts. Wait until you see what happened when his family found out. Sunday dinner. My parents' house. Emma insisted on coming. "They're my family too," she said. They were her family. Mom noticed something was wrong immediately. Mothers always know. Emma told them herself. Wanted to own her mistake. But confession isn't ownership. It's just words. My mother's reaction surprised everyone. I knew something was wrong. A mother knows when her children are hurting. She'd seen the signs before I had. Emma missing family events, less photos on Facebook, shorter visits, distant smiles. Then my sister Sarah spoke up. "James contacted me last month on LinkedIn." The room froze. He asked about your work schedule, said he was planning a surprise for Emma. That's when it hit me. He'd been studying my life, learning my patterns, making their affair easier. Sarah had more. Screenshots of conversations, mutual friends' warnings, office gossip she'd heard everyone knew. Everyone but me. But the real shock wasn't who knew. It was who helped them hide it. Monday morning. Work. Messages flooding in. "We should have told you. We thought she'd stop. We didn't want to hurt you." Our friends, our circle, all complicit in their silence. People who knew. John and Mary, our neighbors, saw them at restaurants. Pete, my best friend, noticed them at his gym. Lisa, Emma's best friend, covered for their work meetings. Even our couple's therapist, Emma, had individual sessions about the affair. Then came the anonymous email. "Your wife isn't James's first affair with a married woman. Ask about Sarah Thompson." Sarah Thompson, another colleague's wife. Same pattern, 8-month affair. Pinterest boards, house hunting. Then he ended it. James was a serial homewrecker, 4 marriages destroyed. Same timeline each time, same promises, same ending. Emma wasn't special. She was next in line. Think knowing the truth sets you free. Wait until you hear what happened when James's other victims came forward. Sarah Thompson reached out first. We should talk. Coffee. At the cafe, I met them all. Sarah, 8 months with James. Michael's wife, Rachel, 7 months. Tom's wife, Jennifer, 9 months. All telling the same story. Our story. The pattern was identical. Compliments at work functions, late-night emergencies, sudden interest in their marriages, promises of a better life. Then, nothing. But James wasn't just collecting wives. He was collecting information, company secrets through pillow talk, financial details during intimate conversations, personal information during deep discussions, leverage. Always leverage. Rachel had figured it out. He's climbing the corporate ladder on his back. Every affair led to a promotion, gained him insider knowledge, advanced his career, left destruction in his wake. Think exposing a cheater is enough? Wait until you see what these scorned spouses did next. We met weekly, not for revenge, for healing. Sarah, already divorced, rebuilding Rachel. In counseling, trying to save her marriage. Jennifer, separated, undecided me. Just starting my journey, each at different stages of the same pain. During our third meeting, Rachel brought files. James had been busy, trading stocks based on pillow talk, using affairs for insider information, climbing ranks through blackmail, building power through broken homes. Emma found out about our meetings. Came to one, walked into a room full of lives she helped destroy. I want to make things right, she said. The room went silent. Then Sarah spoke. Start with the SEC files. Emma had kept everything. Text messages, email trails, photos of documents, records of his business strategies. She hadn't just been his lover. She'd been collecting evidence. Think revenge is about destroying someone. Wait until you see how justice really works. Emma's evidence was comprehensive. 2 years of documentation. Every illegal trade. Every manipulated deal. Every corporate secret he'd exploited. I knew what he was doing, she said. I just couldn't stop myself from falling for it anyway. In the harsh light of the cafe, Emma broke down. He didn't just destroy marriages. He destroyed careers, reputations, entire families. Her real confession wasn't about the affair. It was about watching evil and choosing to dance with it. But here's where it gets complicated. Emma hadn't just collected evidence against James. She'd gathered proof about everyone. Executives who knew, HR managers who covered up, even board members who benefited. We faced a choice. Use the evidence for revenge. Turn it over to authorities or something else entirely. Sarah suggested option 4. We make this bigger than James. Think corporate corruption ends with one man. Wait until you see how deep this rabbit hole goes. We built it carefully. Rachel handled legal strategy. Sarah managed documentation. Jennifer organized witnesses. Emma provided insider access. Me. I kept everything digital. Together, we created something bigger than revenge. The evidence revealed a pattern. 7 years of systematic abuse, 12 destroyed marriages, $43 million in illegal trades, countless lives impacted. But James was just a symptom. The disease ran deeper. Then Emma revealed the final piece. There's more. The board. They didn't just know. They engineered it. James wasn't a predator acting alone. He was their weapon. Their perfect deniable asset. The company's strategy. Find unhappy spouses. Target those with access to information. Use James as the honey trap. Collect corporate secrets. Profit from destroyed lives. Think exposing one company is enough. Wait until you see which CEOs started calling us. The evidence triggered investigations. SEC probes, FBI inquiries, internal audits, media coverage. Companies across the industry started trembling. One by one, they fell. 3 CEOs resigned. 5 board members indicted. Dozens of executives under investigation. Millions in fines. All because of affairs that were never just affairs. Then James disappeared. Just vanished. One day before the SEC hearing. But he left something behind. A USB drive delivered to my office with a note. You deserve the whole truth. The drive contained everything: his handler's instructions, board meeting recordings, operation protocols, target profiles, including my profile from 3 years ago. Emma wasn't random. I was the target. Think knowing the truth brings closure. Wait until you hear who really orchestrated everything. The USB drive revealed more. My company was the real target. Emma was chosen because of my position. Head of cybersecurity access to sensitive data connection to major contracts. Perfect leverage point. The operation was years in making. Emma's job transfer to their company. James's coincidental mentorship. Our marriage counseling issues. Even our neighbors' friendships. All orchestrated. All planned. But here's the real punch. The mastermind behind it? My own CEO. He'd arranged everything, hired James, positioned. Emma created the perfect conditions, waited for it all to unfold. In his office, he didn't deny it. Business is war, casualties are expected. My marriage, my life, just collateral damage in his corporate game. Think corporate espionage is just about money? Wait until you see what they were really after. The truth was bigger than money, government contracts, military technology, national security implications, global power plays. Our broken marriages were just stepping stones to something larger. My CEO's plan: use James to compromise employees, gather intelligence through affairs, access competitors' secrets, win billion-dollar defense contracts. Emma wasn't just a cheating wife. She was an unwitting spy. Then Emma revealed her final secret. I knew. Not at first, but I figured it out. She'd played both sides, gathered evidence against James, collected proof against my CEO, built her own insurance policy, protected me the only way she knew how. Her confession changed. I didn't stay in the affair because I loved him. I stayed because I needed proof. 8 months of destroying our marriage to expose something bigger. Think you know what sacrifice looks like. Wait until you see what Emma risked to expose the truth. Emma's sacrifice cost everything: our marriage, her reputation, her career, her peace of mind. But she'd stopped something massive: international espionage ring, corporate spy network, multi-billion-dollar fraud, potential national security breach. The fallout was nuclear. 17 executives arrested, 3 corporations implicated, $2.4 billion in fines, multiple federal investigations. But the personal cost? Immeasurable. Then came another USB drive, not from James this time, from the FBI. Your wife was working with us. For the past year, everything shifted. Her distant behavior, the careful documentation, the strategic mistakes, all part of an operation. Emma wasn't just gathering evidence. She was an informant, recruited after discovering the scheme, trained to collect information, positioned to expose everything, forced to destroy us to save others. Think betrayal and loyalty are opposites. Wait until you see how love survives the greatest deception. In our kitchen, 3 a.m., truth finally flowed. Emma, I couldn't tell you. They were watching everything. Me, you let me believe I wasn't enough. Her, believing that was better than them knowing you knew. The sacrifice was complete. She became the villain, accepted my hatred, carried the burden alone, protected me by destroying us. The layers peeled back. Every painful moment had purpose. Every lie protected a truth. Every betrayal hid loyalty. But the damage was still real. The FBI offered witness protection, new identities, fresh start, clean slate, together or separate. The choice was ours. In our living room, surrounded by 15 years of memories. I did the right thing the wrong way, she said. I saved lives by destroying ours. The question hung between us. Can you rebuild trust from necessary betrayal? Think love conquers all. Wait until you see how some wounds change you forever. We didn't choose witness protection. Instead, we chose something harder. Stay as ourselves, face the consequences, rebuild from truth, but not together. Not yet. Our decision surprised everyone. Living apart, individual therapy, weekly honest conversations, no promises, no pressure, just 2 people trying to understand who we were, what we'd become, where we might go, if healing was possible. 6 months into separation, Emma got a job offer abroad, counterintelligence consulting, using her experience to prevent others from living our story. I got promoted, head of global security teaching corporations to prevent infiltration, using our pain as lessons, turning wounds into wisdom. We became different people. Stronger individually, clear about values, more aware of complexity, less certain about absolutes. Think endings are always sad? Wait until you see how some goodbyes lead to unexpected hellos. 1 year apart taught us both. Emma's growth, helping companies spot infiltrators, speaking at security conferences, writing a book about corporate espionage, finding purpose in her pain. My evolution, building better security systems, teaching about trust and verification, learning to balance protection with connection, understanding complex truths. At a cybersecurity conference in London, we were both keynote speakers, different days, different topics, same story. In the hotel bar, after her speech, "You look better," I said. "So do you," she smiled. "Happier." "I am, just not in the way I expected." The tension was gone, replaced by something else. Understanding. We found a strange truth. We worked better apart, helped more people separated, made bigger impact, divided, became stronger through breaking. Think love stories need happy endings. Wait until you see how some endings become better beginnings. Over dinner in London, we shared our new lives. Her work, preventing corporate infiltration, my systems protecting companies, our separate but parallel missions. The impact we'd made apart, we're helping more people apart than we ever did together, she said. The truth didn't hurt anymore, it just was. Our story had become a case study in corporate security, a warning about systematic exploitation, a guide for preventing infiltration, a lesson in complex morality. Then she shared something unexpected. "I'm training FBI agents now, teaching them what to look for." "I'm consulting for companies on security culture," I replied. We'd become experts in preventing our own tragedy. Our relationship evolved into something unexpected. Professional respect, shared mission, different paths, same destination. Think healing means forgetting. Wait until you see how some scars become strength. Our separate work started merging. Joint speaking engagements, collaborative training programs, shared research projects, combined expertise. We became known as the couple who turned betrayal into protection. Our work prevented 12 corporate infiltrations, 23 potential security breaches, countless families from destruction, millions in potential fraud, all because we chose to use our pain productively. At a security summit in Singapore, someone asked, "Do you regret what happened?" The room went silent. Emma spoke first. "We regret the pain, but not the purpose it found." Our story became more than personal. Corporate security protocols changed HR departments, reformed policies, companies implemented new safeguards, lives were protected before being threatened. Think redemption has one path? Wait until you see how some stories rewrite their own endings. 2 years after London, we found ourselves in New York, different hotels, same conference, but something had changed. The pain was gone, completely, not just dulled, gone. Over coffee in Central Park. "I don't hate what happened anymore," I said. "Neither do I," she replied. "It made us this. This two whole people, separate but connected stronger, through breaking, purposeful through pain." Then she shared news. "I'm starting a foundation for families affected by corporate espionage. Needed a security consultant." Our eyes met. We both knew. Not as husband and wife, not as victims or survivors, but as partners in something bigger. Protecting others, preventing pain, creating change, building legacy. Think second chances only look one way. Wait until you see how some partnerships transcend marriage. Corporate Family Protection Initiative. Our mission: support affected families, prevent future infiltrations, train security teams, change corporate culture. The irony wasn't lost. Our broken marriage now saving others. First year results: 47 families supported 15 corporations, reformed 3 major infiltrations, prevented countless lives protected. We became experts in spotting patterns, breaking cycles, healing trauma, creating change. During a foundation event, a CEO stood up, "Your story saved my company." Then another, "You saved my family." And another, "You prevented our tragedy." Our pain had purpose. Our story had meaning. Our ending became others' beginning. Working together, we discovered some loves transform rather than die. Some endings create better beginnings. Some breaks lead to stronger bonds. Some betrayals birth greater truths. Think you know how this story ends. Wait until you see how some circles complete themselves. 3 years after starting the foundation, we sat in our old favorite restaurant, not as husband and wife, but as something more complex. Partners in protection, teachers of truth, guardians of others' happiness, warriors against corporate predators. Over pasta, yes, pasta. Some ironies never fade. We had to break to become this, Emma said. Would you change it? I asked. Her answer surprised me. No, she said, but not because it was right. Because of who we became after. Because of who we're helping now. The truth settled between us. Some stories need to break to build something stronger. What we learned. Love isn't just about staying together. Growth sometimes requires separation. Purpose can emerge from pain. Impact matters more than intention. Think healing means going back. Wait until you see how moving forward changes everything. 5 years after the affair, our lives had completely transformed. Foundation helping hundreds. Book becoming corporate training manuals, security protocols, changing industries. Personal peace finally found at another conference, but different now. Tell them how it ends, someone asked. Emma looked at me. I nodded. She stood up. It doesn't end. It evolves. The real transformation wasn't about us. 200 families saved from similar schemes, 45 corporations implementing new protections, 17 infiltrators exposed, countless lives preserved. Our broken marriage had built a shield for others. The foundation expanded, international branches, government partnerships, corporate reform programs, family support networks, all because 2 people chose to use their pain as purpose. Think this is where we leave you? Wait until you see how some stories create infinite ripples. Our story spread. Harvard Business Case Study, FBI Training Program, Corporate Security Handbook, Family Counseling Guide. But more importantly, it changed lives. Sarah from accounting. Your story helped me spot the signs. Michael from IT. You saved my department from infiltration. Linda from HR. We revamped our entire security protocol. One day, at a foundation event, a woman approached us crying. You described my story before it happened. Because of you, I recognized it in time. That's when we knew. Our pain had meaning. Our loss had purpose. Our break created strength. Then came an unexpected moment. Both of us dating other people. Both happy, genuinely happy, running into each other at our old coffee shop. No pain. No regret. Just gratitude. Success wasn't in saving our marriage. It was in saving others, creating change, building protection, finding purpose. Think the greatest love stories end in marriage? Wait until you see how some end in something bigger. At a charity gala, 5 years and 3 months after that first confession, we shared a table, comfortable now, with our new partners. No tension, no pain, just purpose. Did you ever think, Emma asked, that our worst moment would become our best contribution? Around us, families we'd helped, companies we'd protected lives, we'd changed futures we'd preserved. Then someone asked the question, do you regret getting married? The room tensed. Our answer came in unison, no. Because without that story, we couldn't write this one. What we learned, love isn't just romance, purpose transcends pain. Some endings are beginnings. Impact outlasts hurt. Legacy matters more than labels. Think you know what love looks like. Wait until you see how it transforms into something greater. Our story became about more than marriage or betrayal. Success wasn't about staying together, forgetting pain, going back, finding closure. It was about creating meaning, protecting others, building legacy, finding purpose. At conferences now, we tell our story differently. This isn't about affair prevention. It's about purpose finding you through pain. The Foundation's latest project, Beyond Betrayal. Not just helping victims, but transforming corporate culture entirely. New security protocols, ethical guidelines, family protection programs, support systems. What we teach now. Pain can have purpose. Betrayal can build strength. Endings can create beginnings. Loss can generate legacy. Think this story is about a failed marriage? Wait until you see how some failures create the greatest successes. Our impact spread across industries. Fortune 500 companies implementing our protocols, government agencies adopting our training, international corporations seeking our guidance, families finding new paths through our experience. What changed? HR departments now screen for predatory patterns. Security teams monitor for systematic exploitation. Companies prioritize family protection. Employees trained to spot manipulation. The biggest surprise, our story became required reading. Business schools, psychology programs, corporate training security certifications, not as a cautionary tale, but as a blueprint for transformation. 5 years, 7 months after, both remarried to different people, both fulfilled in new ways, both grateful for our broken path, because that break created a foundation helping thousands, programs protecting families, systems preventing exploitation, hope emerging from pain. Think this is just another story about moving on. Wait until you see how some endings become eternal beginnings. 6 years after that burnt pasta night, we found ourselves speaking at the United Nations. Corporate ethics panel, family protection initiatives, global security standards, worldwide impact from personal pain. Between sessions in a quiet moment. Remember when we thought our world was ending? I asked. Emma smiled. Instead, we helped build a better one. Our metrics told the story. 1,000 plus families protected 300 plus companies, reformed 50 plus countries, implementing our protocols. Countless lives changed. Then came the documentary request. From betrayal to breakthrough. Our story, but not about us anymore. About the movement we started, the lives we changed, the system we reformed. Success wasn't measured in years married, pain overcome, trust rebuilt, personal healing, but in lives protected, systems changed, families saved, legacy created. Think healing is about forgetting? Wait until you see how remembering can change the world. Our foundation went international. European headquarters in London, Asian office in Singapore, African branch in Johannesburg, global reach, local impact. The message spread. Corporate culture can be reformed. Families can be protected. Pain can create purpose. Personal tragedy can spark global change. At a global summit, someone asked, "Was it worth it?" The room fell silent. Our answer surprised everyone. It wasn't about worth. It was about what we chose to create from what was broken. Then came the statistics. 90% reduction in corporate infiltration, 85% decrease in predatory practices, 95% success rate in prevention, thousands of families protected, numbers that made our pain make sense. Victory wasn't in saving our marriage, overcoming betrayal, finding new love, moving on. It was in creating lasting change, building global protection, transforming corporate culture, giving pain purpose. Think some stories end. Wait until you see how others become eternal. 7 years after that first confession, our work had created something permanent. The Watson-Miller Protocol. Our names, standard corporate protection procedures, family safety guidelines, global security standards. We learned success isn't what you save, it's what you build from the ruins. Impact isn't measured in personal healing, but in how many others you help heal. At our latest conference, a young executive stood up. "Your story saved my company before the threat arrived." Another, "Your foundation protected my family before we knew we needed it." Prevention became our greatest victory. Our work evolved, training next-generation protectors, building stronger corporate safeguards, creating lasting family protection systems, turning personal pain into global purpose. Think some stories are finished. Wait until you see how this one keeps changing lives. Future generations would study the Watson-Miller effect. How one couple's broken marriage, reformed corporate culture, protected countless families, created global standards, changed how business operates. 7 years, 3 months later, both happily remarried, both doing what we love, both grateful for our broken path because that break created a movement bigger than us, protection for thousands, hope from heartbreak, purpose from pain. At our foundation's global summit, James appeared, not as a villain anymore, but as a case study. A warning, a lesson learned, he spoke. I was the weapon they used, the tool they employed, the destroyer they created, until their strength stopped the cycle. Think redemption only has one face. Wait until you see how even the darkest stories find light. In the end, it wasn't about the affair, the betrayal, the corporate schemes, the broken marriage. It was about what emerged: global protection systems, family safety protocols, corporate ethics reform, lasting positive change. Our foundation's reach: 50 countries, 1,000 plus corporations, millions protected, countless families saved. But more importantly, hearts healed, lives rebuilt. Purpose found, change created. At our last public appearance together, someone asked, "Would you change anything?" Our answer came naturally. We wouldn't change the break, because the break changed everything, not just for us, but for everyone we've helped since. What we learned: some breaks are necessary, some endings are beginnings, some pain has purpose, some losses create legacy. Want to know how to turn your pain into purpose? Subscribe to learn how broken paths can lead to better destinations. Because sometimes the greatest love story isn't about staying together, it's about how your break helps others stay whole.